Hello ARMY, all around the world. Welcome back to Jungkook Lover, Purple Heart. Before we start, make sure you like this video, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and subscribe to Jungkook Lover so you never miss the latest updates about BTS, Jimin, Jungkook, and the biggest viral moments happening in the K-pop world. Because something incredible just happened in Seoul, and fans across the globe are still talking about it. The third day of the concert, which officially marked the end of the Seoul shows, turned into a moment that many ARMY say they will never forget. As fireworks lit up the night sky and the music slowly faded, the atmosphere inside the stadium suddenly shifted. What began as a celebration quickly became an emotional moment that left thousands of fans feeling overwhelmed. But the biggest question fans are asking right now is this: was that ending simply a beautiful closing moment, or was it actually hinting at something much bigger coming next? The night in Seoul began like many unforgettable concert nights before it. The stadium lights glowed brightly against the darkening sky, and thousands of ARMY held their glowing purple lightsticks high in the air. From every corner of the venue, waves of cheers echoed loudly, blending together into a sound that felt almost powerful enough to shake the entire city. For many fans, this was not just another concert. It was the third and final night of a highly anticipated series of shows in Seoul, a moment that had been circled on calendars for months. In the days leading up to the concert, the city itself had seemed to transform. Streets near the venue were filled with fans from different countries, speaking different languages, but sharing the same excitement. It didn't matter where they came from. Some had traveled from nearby cities in South Korea, while others had flown across continents just to be there. The energy surrounding the event had grown stronger with each passing day, turning Seoul into what many described as the center of the global K-pop universe, even if only for a short time. From early afternoon, crowds had already begun gathering outside the stadium. Some fans arrived hours before the gates even opened, determined to experience every possible moment of the event. Groups of ARMY exchanged fan-made gifts, banners, and small souvenirs that symbolized the connection shared by millions of supporters worldwide. It felt less like a simple concert and more like a global gathering. Strangers who had never met before quickly became friends. People laughed together, took photos together, and talked endlessly about the performances they hoped to see that night. The sense of unity among the fans was impossible to ignore. As the sun slowly began to set over Seoul, the sky shifted into shades of orange and purple. Stadium lights flickered on one by one, and anticipation spread through the crowd like electricity. Everyone knew that the third night carried a different meaning. In the world of live concerts, the final show often brings something special. It's the moment when performers and fans alike realize that the experience they have shared is about to come to an end. And because of that, emotions tend to run deeper. Inside the stadium, the atmosphere grew louder with every passing minute. Fans waved their light sticks in rhythm with the music playing through the speakers, while the giant screens displayed visuals that built anticipation for the start of the show. Social media was already buzzing long before the concert began. Hashtags related to BTS and the Seoul concerts quickly climbed trending charts across multiple platforms. Videos, photos, and live reactions flooded the internet as fans around the world tried to follow the event in real time. For many people watching from home, it felt as if the entire world was paying attention to what was happening inside that stadium. And yet, no one could have predicted just how much discussion the final moments of the night would generate later. When the concert finally started, the stadium exploded with energy. Music roared through the speakers, lights flashed across the stage, and thousands of ARMY voices joined together in a chorus that echoed far beyond the stadium walls. Every performance was met with overwhelming excitement. Fans jumped, sang along, and celebrated every second as if they wanted to capture the memory forever. But as the show gradually moved closer to its final segment, the atmosphere began to change in subtle ways. The explosive energy that had dominated the earlier performances slowly gave way to something more emotional. Many fans suddenly realized that the night was approaching its end. Phones were lifted into the air as people tried to record the last moments of the concert. Others simply stood quietly, taking in the scene around them, perhaps already feeling nostalgic about an experience that had not even finished yet. Then, just when it seemed like the show was reaching its final goodbye, something unexpected happened. The night sky above Seoul suddenly burst into brilliant colors as massive fireworks exploded overhead. Bright streaks of red, gold, and purple illuminated the darkness, creating a breathtaking display that instantly captured everyone's attention. For a brief moment, the stadium seemed to fall into stunned silence before erupting into cheers once again. The fireworks reflected off the stadium lights and the sea of glowing lightsticks below, creating a visual scene so dramatic that many fans later described it as one of the most beautiful moments they had ever witnessed at a concert. But beyond the spectacle, something about the moment felt different. Some fans later said the atmosphere carried a strange mixture of celebration and emotion at the same time. It was as if everyone in the stadium suddenly realized that they were witnessing the closing of a chapter. And within minutes, videos of the fireworks began spreading across social media platforms around the world. People who hadn't attended the concert watched the clips and immediately started asking questions. Was this simply the grand finale of the Seoul concerts? Or was there something more symbolic behind the moment? Because shortly after the show, discussions among fans quickly began to grow louder. Some ARMY believed the dramatic ending was simply a beautiful way to thank the fans in Seoul before the tour continued to its next destination. Others, however, began to wonder if the emotional atmosphere hinted at something else entirely. After all, the next stop on the tour had already been announced: Tokyo Dome, with concerts scheduled for April 17th and April 18th. For Japanese fans, this news was thrilling. Tokyo Dome has long been considered one of the most iconic venues in the world for major music events, and anticipation for the upcoming shows quickly began to build. But for the fans who stood in the Seoul Stadium that night, the moment felt uniquely special. They had been there for the final chapter of the Seoul concerts. They had seen the fireworks explode across the sky. They had felt the shift in the atmosphere as the music faded and the lights slowly dimmed. And now, as videos of the moment continued spreading across the internet, a new question began circulating among fans worldwide. A question that no one seemed to have a clear answer to yet. Because what happened that night did not simply feel like the end of a concert. To many ARMY, it felt like something else entirely. Something bigger. Something that might only make sense later. The conversation surrounding that night in Seoul did not slow down after the concert ended. If anything, it seemed to grow even stronger as the hours passed. Videos taken by fans inside the stadium began circulating rapidly across social media platforms. Clips of the fireworks lighting up the sky, recordings of the crowd chanting together, and emotional reactions from ARMY quickly flooded timelines across the internet. For many people watching from outside South Korea, the footage felt almost surreal. The scale of the event, the intensity of the crowd, and the emotional atmosphere created a feeling that something extraordinary had just happened. Even those who were not physically present could sense that the final moments of the concert carried a weight that went beyond a typical show ending. In the early hours after the concert, hashtags connected to the event began trending globally. Fans in different time zones woke up to discover that the closing night in Seoul had suddenly become one of the most talked about topics online. Screenshots, fan edits, and detailed posts analyzing every moment of the final minutes appeared everywhere. Some ARMY focused on the beauty of the fireworks display, describing it as one of the most breathtaking visuals they had ever seen during a BTS concert. Others spoke about the emotional energy that filled the stadium as the show came to an end. Several fans who attended the concert even shared personal stories about how the moment felt from inside the venue. One fan wrote that when the fireworks exploded above the stadium, the entire crowd seemed to pause at the same time. For a brief moment, thousands of people simply stood there looking up at the sky, taking in the scene together. It was as if time slowed down for a few seconds, allowing everyone to fully absorb the significance of the night. Another fan described how the cheers gradually turned into something quieter and more emotional. Instead of the loud excitement that had filled the stadium earlier in the night, the atmosphere became reflective. Many people hugged their friends or fellow fans beside them, realizing that the concert series in Seoul had officially reached its end. But what made the moment even more powerful was the knowledge that the journey was far from over. While the Seoul concerts were concluding, the next chapter of the tour was already approaching. Tokyo had been announced as the next destination, with performances scheduled to take place at the legendary Tokyo Dome. For longtime K-pop followers, the mention of Tokyo Dome immediately carries a sense of prestige. The venue has hosted some of the biggest names in music history, and performing there is often considered a milestone for many artists. Because of this, the transition from Seoul to Tokyo felt symbolic in its own way. Some fans interpreted the dramatic fireworks ending as a bridge between the two cities, a visual moment that marked the closing of one chapter while hinting at the beginning of another. However, the discussion among fans did not stop there. As more videos from the concert surfaced, people began paying closer attention to the emotions displayed during the final moments of the show. Certain clips showed fans wiping away tears as they watched the fireworks. Others showed the stadium glowing purple under the lightsticks, creating a sea of color that stretched from one end of the venue to the other. What stood out most in many of these videos was the sound of the crowd. Even after the music ended, fans continued cheering, chanting, and singing together. The voices of thousands of ARMY blended into one powerful wave of sound that echoed throughout the stadium. Moments like this are often what make BTS concerts feel different from ordinary performances. For many fans, attending a BTS concert is not just about watching artists perform on stage. It is about feeling part of something larger, a global community that shares the same emotions, memories, and experiences. That sense of unity was especially visible during the final moments in Seoul. As the fireworks faded and the lights slowly began to dim, many people remained in their seats or standing areas instead of immediately leaving the stadium. Some continued filming, while others simply stood quietly, absorbing the final seconds of the night. Outside the venue, the excitement continued. Fans gathered in groups to talk about their favorite moments from the concert. Some replayed the videos they had recorded, laughing or becoming emotional all over again as they relived the experience. Even people passing by the stadium could see the glow of purple lightsticks and hear the conversations filled with excitement. It was clear that the night had left a strong impression on everyone who had been there. Yet what made the moment even more fascinating was how quickly it spread beyond Seoul. Within hours, international fans who had not attended the concert began reacting online. Some posted messages expressing how emotional they felt just watching the clips. Others analyzed the final minutes of the concert in detail, discussing everything from the timing of the fireworks to the reactions of the crowd. The conversation soon expanded beyond the event itself. Fans began reflecting on what the Seoul concerts represented within the larger story of BTS and their journey with ARMY. Over the years, BTS has performed in stadiums across the world, creating unforgettable moments in cities from Los Angeles to London. Each tour stop carries its own unique atmosphere, shaped by the culture and energy of the fans who attend. But Seoul always holds a special meaning. As the group's home city, concerts in Seoul often feel more personal and emotional. For many fans, it represents a place where the connection between BTS and ARMY feels particularly strong. Because of that, the closing night of the Seoul concerts carried a deeper significance than just another stop on the tour schedule. It was a reminder of how far both the group and their fans have come together. Years ago, BTS performed in much smaller venues while slowly building their international audience. At that time, few people could have imagined that they would one day fill massive stadiums with fans from all over the world. And yet, moments like the fireworks finale in Seoul show just how powerful that journey has become. The images from that night, thousands of glowing light sticks, the explosion of colors in the sky, and the emotional reactions of fans have now become part of the growing history of BTS concerts. But even as fans celebrate those memories, the focus is already beginning to shift toward what comes next. With Tokyo concerts approaching quickly, anticipation is rising once again. Many fans are wondering what surprises might await them at Tokyo Dome. Will the performances be similar to what was seen in Seoul, or will there be new moments that capture global attention once again? And perhaps more importantly, could the emotional ending in Seoul have been more than just a beautiful farewell to the city? Because sometimes in the world of BTS, the most memorable moments are not simply endings. Sometimes they are the quiet signals that something even bigger is about to begin. Which leaves fans everywhere asking one question that continues to spark debate across the fandom. Was the breathtaking finale in Seoul simply the perfect way to close 3 unforgettable nights?